Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for our Mortgage Minute Mondays with Linda May Tomko, a home financing advisor with Scotia Bank. And who am I? Well, I'm Alex Ward, your favorite broker owner of Maxwell Devonshire Realty. And you see three beautiful people on your screen today. That's because Kim Lewis of SAGEN is here to talk to us about fraud. So ladies, I'm going to leave this up to you because you see it a lot more than me. So the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. As I always say, I hope everyone had a great weekend and gonna have an awesome week. Hoping that the weather is beautiful this week. We can get some sunshine. I wanted to introduce Kim Lewis. She's with SAGEN. She's the account manager for the Edmonton and actually Alberta North area. And she was just gonna fill us in on just fraud. It's a topic that nobody likes to discuss and everybody wants to try to avoid, but we do have to, bring it to the attention. We haven't really seen a lot of fraud in our area previous to kind of now, but just with the busy market, things creep in. So just making everybody aware, we thought we would bring her in and have a little discussion about it. Here, I'll give you the floor, Kim, and then I'll jump in as needed if you need me to.
Sounds good. So Alberta is doing extremely well. Sagen is one of the insurers of Canada. So there's three of us. We are the biggest one in Canada. So we see a lot of deals coming in from multiple lenders. So it has been a very busy market. Alberta is doing extremely well. The market here is very, very strong and the demand is very, very strong. The problem with that is with demand, higher interest rates, harder to get into the houses that you want, comes fraud. Everybody gets a little bit tricksy on how they want to get into the house and what they think they should be able to afford. And some ideas start creeping in. So some of the things that we've been seeing lately are lots of ID theft. Lots of ID theft. And what they're doing with that ID theft is not the common just taking your paycheck. That's not what they're doing. What they're doing is they're planning bigger things, and it includes title fraud. So stealing your ID and then not using it for months. They're planning different things and using title fraud as a way to dupe you. They pretend that they're you and then they refinance your property out from under you. So now you have a second mortgage on your home and you didn't even know that it was happening. That's one of the biggest things that we're seeing right now is title fraud. And who is this happening to? Homes that are free and clear, homes that have very little debt on them. You can go down to land titles and check and see who has very little debt on their mortgages. And that's what they're doing, is they're targeting those people. So elderly people, unfortunately, people have been in their homes for a long time. Those are the people that are getting targeted. So definitely not the way we want to see things happen. The other one that we're seeing right now too is mortgage foreclosure fraud. And this is a big deal because it is just a vulnerable sector right now. So you see a lot of people struggling with variable rates and renewing into a higher interest rate where their payments going up a lot. What is happening is people are offering those people money to transfer the title into their name. So if you know someone is struggling, you're offering them a couple $1,000s. It's dire for them. They need that money and they're giving the title to you. And then they're selling the house out right from under them. So unfortunately, it's kind of a gross situation, but there's two types of fraud that we're looking at, and we see it every day. In my line of work, we see it all the time, is fraud for profit, which is the normal type of fraud that people know is going to make money on the fraud. So selling a property out from underneath someone else, making money off of them. That's fraud for profit. Fraud for shelter is the other one that people don't typically see. And it's harder to get into a house right now. It's harder to, Linda May, you know this, it's harder to qualify for what you want right now. So the other type of fraud is fraud for shelter. People are committing fraud just to be able to buy a home right now. Is it right? Absolutely not. Do we understand it? For sure we do. And we totally get it. It's a lot harder right now. So there's just a lot of fraud going on right now that we really need to be aware of. The biggest way to prevent fraud is to work with professionals. Check who you're working with. Linda May works at Scotia. She works for a very reputable company. It's big name. People know who she is. She's got checks and balances. She is a professional in her line of work and people know who she is and the company she works for. Alex, same thing. he's a professional in his realty business. This is what we need to work with. So a way to protect yourself is working with the professionals that have a good reputation, a good name, things like that. They're not doing anything shady to prevent you from being able to afford anything or be able to keep your home. So the biggest thing to do to prevent fraud, work with the people that you want to work with that have a good reputation and a good name.
Mhm.
And the other one is checking your credit once a year.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of options for checking credit. There's free options. There's, you can download the Equifax. A lot of the banks now have it on their app. So, I think once a year is at the very least. I mean, I would be checking your credit once a month. If there's now notifications for me, for myself, there's notifications that you can get on your bureau where if there is anything done, you'll actually get a notification. So that's actually saved me because I had like an Amex card being applied for under my name that was not my card. So, it's something that everybody should be looking at, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, once a month for sure. I mean, getting those notifications, if your bank offers those notifications, I know Scotia absolutely offers those notifications because I get them on my cell phone 3 times a day, and I know exactly what's going on and where my husband is spending money because I can see our joint credit card, which is fantastic. So get as many notifications set up as you can. The 2-type authenticators, get all of those done on your credit, things like that, protecting yourself
Yeah,
against
100%.
all of those things.
So what about title? What can you say about title? Like how can people check that? I mean, they can go down into and check on title, but should they be doing that once a year if their house is free and clear, or what's the recommendation regarding that?
I mean, there's 2 things that you can do to protect yourself against title fraud, and that's getting title insurance. Title insurance is a big one. Putting title insurance on your property, making sure that you have that as a safety net. And then the other thing is always having some type of debt. I know people don't like this, but having some type of debt attached to
Right.
your property. I
Right.
don't care how much, but just
Yeah. I mean, and that's something, I try to talk to people about. We have what's called the step product, right? You can have uh the step product registered on title for up to 80% loan to value. It doesn't mean that you have to have even access to it, but if you can go into the branch and activate it, or if you're going up to 80%, you need some sort of mortgage product locked in for 15% of it, but you could have up to 65% of it just in unsecured. And that would just sit on title, and that's gonna, whether you need it or not, or spend it or not. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna advise spending it, on trips or anything like that, but it's there if you ever need it in the future. And it's also, confirming that nobody can go in second, because Scotia doesn't allow anybody second behind us. So we like to be first. So we're not gonna allow anybody to come in and change title on you, which is a benefit as well, right?
it sounds like something that's a ploy, but it's really
Yeah.
not. I don't work for the bank, everybody. I don't work for the bank. I swear I don't. But
I
having
do. No.
she does, but I don't. And having something registered against the title of your house is a very easy way to protect yourself from someone trying to steal the equity of your home or change title without you knowing it.
Mhm.
It's the best
And
way to
yeah, and I guess if you're not going to do that, then I head into the title office every year and make sure you're checking on it.
check on your parents, check on your grandparents. If they have homes that are free and clear, they are who the fraudsters are going to go after, unfortunately. And that makes me sick to my stomach. But unfortunately, it's very much a very true story right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Alrighty.
things that we're looking at right now is just protect yourself as much as you can. Make sure that you're not giving your title of your home to anybody else. Get something registered on there if you are lucky enough to have a free and clear house, and work with professionals. It's the biggest thing that will protect you is working with professionals in our industry.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so I guess just to touch back to Alberta doing great.
hmm.
Projections are that this is going to remain for the at least foreseeable future, or what's SAGEN's take on that?
We are the hot spot in Canada, and it will remain that way for a long time. People can't afford to buy in different parts of the country. So everybody's going to come here and try and buy here. We don't have enough houses for everyone to buy. So the demand is going to remain high. So it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt for everybody because you can't find a house sometimes, but it does keep our demand very high. And hopefully our builders will start building a little bit quicker and get some more inventory flowing in. But Alberta's got a really good outlook. We're doing really good. And I would expect nothing less of Alberta, to be honest with you.
Well, there you go. You heard it from the major insurer in Canada.
Which also means with us being hot that the fraud is going to continue. So make sure, like they said, you protect yourself. Reach out to your professionals. Title insurance is always key, but talk to your professional real estate associate, talk to your professional mortgage professional, and go from there. But keep yourself safe. That's the most important thing. I'm Alex Ward, broker owner of Maxwell Devonshire Realty. That was Kim Lewis of SAGEN. I keep pronouncing it wrong, don't I? SAGEN, SAGEN. Kim Lewis of
SAGEN, same
SAGEN,
thing. No.
and Linda May Tomko with Scotia Bank Home Financing Advisor. We can't wait to talk to you guys next week. See you.
Thanks.